Good. Coach's competition backbone. Basically, there's three underpinnings that we look for from a coach. That's vendor protection, competition integrity, and being the official point of contact with the team. So, as a coach, you're the foundation of the team, and your mentor is your team member who helps you guide and teach that team to become the best they possibly can. This WebEx is provided by Cisco Systems. Presenters, that's us, will use audio, and participants, that's you, will use chat. Please hold your questions till the end and try not to use private chat rooms because it causes confusion, and sometimes questions don't get answered, but they're pretty good questions. Okay, first we'll start off with outreach, and I'll turn it over to Rebecca Dalton.
So the first thing for the outreach section is participant kits. If you haven't seen the Facebook post, all the kits at this point have been shipped, with the exception of the LAUSD teams. That material will be making its way to LAUSD Beyond the Bell within the next day or two, and then I believe they have arranged for coaches to pick up those materials from the warehouse. But you can see a status list for your participant kit by going to the announcement section of our website, and your team should be listed there. What's included in the kit, there's lots of items included in the kit. As always, a t-shirt, a coin, and a pin, and then this year we have a pen, a light-up mouse, sunglasses, and blank certificates for each of the competitors, coach and mentor. And there's a template on our website if you are interested in printing names on the certificates. This is kind of a teaser here. We have a National Finalist Media Contest, which is new for this year. So if your team does, in fact, become a national finalist, we obviously want you to get as much news coverage as possible because that is a pretty big feat for your team. So we'll be having a special media contest to recognize those teams. And the best media coverage of the teams that get the best media coverage will get a limited edition prize. So you'll be getting more information about that should your team advance to national finals. And then, as always, the Cyber Sentinel. We've been getting a lot of good pictures and news articles emailed to us. Obviously, they can't all go into the Cyber Sentinel, but most of the news articles do make it onto the Cyber Feature in the news section of our website, so be sure to check that out. But we do try to get as many pictures in the Cyber Sentinel as we can. So if you have anything to share with us, please submit it to info@uscyberpatriot.org. So that's all I have for outreach. I'm going to pass it off to Ryan for accomplishment operations.
Thanks, Max. Just some brief information here about the upcoming rounds this weekend. Live this will be a review from previous rounds. And if you had to start, you probably know this information already. I'll highlight a few things here before we run. As you should all know, this weekend we have the regional and category round for the open and off-service teams. The top teams in each state in the open division from the state round competition all advance to the regional rounds. The top teams from each category, each tier in the all-service division advance to the category round this weekend. Semifinals round for the middle school is also this weekend. Top 15% of teams with state round score, round one and round two combined scores advance to this round. They'll be competing top three teams will advance to national finals going forward. Here are the challenges this round. We sent out the image download instructions emails to teams on Friday, and then we resent some again on Monday. The images for the regional category rounds, which will be open off-service divisions rounds, so Windows 8.1, Windows Server 2008, Ubuntu, and Cisco Networking Challenge. All teams will have a quiz of Cisco Networking Challenge, and the gold and platinum tier teams this round will have a packet tracer activity. To get the best training on Cisco Networking Challenge, I would recommend going to Cisco Networking Academy website, where you probably set up an academy at this point. You'll be tested on a lot of material that you can see there. For the other operating systems, I would recommend using your MSDN accounts. You can download Windows 8.1 and Windows Server 2008 using your MSDN accounts. Kind of get the introduction to those operating systems before the round this weekend. So For the middle school division, semifinals will have an Ubuntu, Windows 7, and Windows Vista image. Cisco challenge book type of quiz, kind of same recommended training for those challenges. So for the open house service division, again, here's just a little more information about the rounds. It's a lot like previous rounds, competition windows at the same times, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this weekend. Again, down instruction emails have design out the teams. For the silver tier, each image has 100 points. The quiz worth 33. Platinum gold tier teams have the exact same thing, except they have the additional package which activity which is worth 42 points. Middle school edition is very similar. As you can see here, 100 points for each quiz, 33 points, for each image, 33 points for the Cisco quiz, same times as previous times. Again, Cisco Networking Academy, again, it's a great website to go to get some networking training for the Cisco Networking Challenge. I will mention that the regional category rounds focus on all of the modules of Cisco training materials. There are 7 of those, so I recommend looking at all 7. The middle school teams will just be mostly focusing on modules 5 through 7, although material from previous modules will probably help you as well. More introductory type networking things certainly can't hurt you, to only help you understand more advanced topics. Oh, and one final note on that, if you lost your team and team user IDs and passwords for Cisco Networking Academy, those will be sent again in the starting email this Friday. If you made this far, you probably know the Big 4 rules competition. We like to highlight them every time. Please don't forget to delete the images at the end of the round. These are the intellectual property of the Airport Association, and keep an eye around when it comes to competitive disadvantage and delete the penalties. So please ask you to delete them by 10 p.m. on Sunday, which is the end of the round. That's Eastern time. Teams have a single 6-hour period to work on all work. That includes both images and Cisco Networking Challenge. Once you open up the first image, you have 6 consecutive hours to complete all work. You only have 1 instance of the image open at a time. No snapshots are allowed. You can't work on multiple instances of the same image at once. If you do mess up, you'll need to shut down the instance of the image and extract a new copy from the zip file. Finally, if you're experiencing any connectivity issues, please contact your IT department network administrator. All teams need to connect over port 80 and 443. Mostly port 80 is the key one there. To our scoring server. Usually sometimes firewall and things are in place. If you have any issues connecting, your IT department can't help, go ahead and give us a call and we'll try to help out. So a few things to keep in mind. I'm sure you all know substitution rules by now. It's soccer rules. So if a competitor comes out during competition, they cannot come back in. So it's kind of you're in and you're out. Recommend any resources that teams want to use. You can save resources on the 4 rounds. So any service packs or updates or other software you can have on your computer before the round and then put them on your virtual teams during the round competition if you'd like. Remember, it's not just about cybersecurity. Other skills like time management, teamwork, division of labor kind of things are important for succeeding in competition. Information on saving your scoring data. This also includes the instructions documents for each tier and the middle school division. Any more information on saving the scoring data, you can do so there. If it's only necessary, if you'd like to submit a appeal after the round, you can save your scoring data to a zip file and submit it in your appeal. It certainly does help you in your appeal and some more information to look at, but it's not required if you'd like to submit an appeal after the round. Public scoreboard will again be available, kind of same things as previous rounds. One thing to note here is that the location field, which is in previous rounds of competition, which mostly listed states or Canada, if you're in Canada, Puerto Rico, if you're, or any other U.S. territory if you're one of those. This time, however, it will display, it will say region/category/state. This will help you determine, for example, regional awards for open division teams. It helps you determine not only category awards, but also advancement in the all-service division. It also helps middle school division teams kind of understand state awards. We'll talk more about advancement and awards in just a moment. So for advancing out of the open division, the only platinum tier teams have a chance to advance to another round of competition. The top 12 teams in the Platinum tier can advance out of the Platinum tier regional round national finals competition. That includes, of course, your image score and your blue score. For the Alpha division, it's slightly different. The top 2 teams from each category, those categories are all the JFTC programs, plus Civil Air Patrol, and the U.S. Navy Sea Cadets. The top 2 teams from each of those categories will advance to the national finals competition. And one wild card, which is where your category does not matter. It's anyone doing that from the Platinum category round to the national finals. We'll also be giving away regional or category rounds, category awards after the round. These given to the top 3 teams in each regional category in both events. Teams from any tier can win these awards. However, Platinum tier teams are always ranked higher than Gold and Silver tier teams, and Gold tier teams are always ranked higher than Silver tier teams. So if a Silver team from the Midwest division has 300 points, and a Platinum tier team from the Midwest division has only 20 points, that Platinum tier team that only has 20 points will still be ranked higher and will be ranked higher for regional or category awards. For tier certificates, these are also given away after the round. These are given to the top 3 teams in each regional category in each tier. So there'll be there are at least 3 teams in each in the Midwest region in the Platinum, Gold, and Silver tiers. All of those teams will win some sort of tier certificate. Middle school advancement is very easy. The top 3 teams from this round will advance to the national finals competition, and then the top 3 teams in each state, based on the semifinal score, will receive the state award, much like the high school division teams did in the state round. Last thing I'll mention is the President's Day weekend open. As you may remember from previous coaching meetings, this Cisco Patriots 7th season, it does not affect any awards, advancements, or scores based on the season itself. But it's another chance to test your cybersecurity skills. It'll focus on Cisco again, so it'll probably be a quiz or backtrace activity, as well as a digital forensics competition through Ligos, who's one of our sponsors here. We are still not ready to release any more details about this open at this time. We should have some more details coming up shortly. That includes the dates for the competition there and a possible practice round later this month. I'll turn it over to Frank. Thanks, Ryan. Just a few things to keep in mind is that all teams can compete in the President's Day Weekend Open. Doesn't matter how well they did in any round of competition or if they're registered, even if they even participate in any other round of competition. Next, the post-competition survey. You can improve the competition. If you can take a look at the list there of the past things the coaches have suggested that we put into the competition to make it even better. And if you were a Cyber Patriot 3 years ago, it doesn't look anything like it does now. In integrity, these are the final rounds, so please remind your competitors to follow the rules. Much is on the line, temptation is there, they don't have the ethical maturity of a coach or a mentor. So please just remind them that, just follow the rules, and things will be fine. We don't want to have to do what we had to do last year, was to disqualify a team. Next is the Cyber Patriot Rules Advisory Group. What this group does is it advises the Cyber Patriot Program Office, me in particular, but the office itself, on rules and policy. We'll be requesting coach and mentor volunteers in May. So keep your eyes out. This is the time. It doesn't matter how much experience you have, whether your team is a national finalist team or just a run-of-the-mill team trying to do the best they possibly can. We want to hear from everyone because we're trying to make the competition better. And with the rules that we have in place now with the tiers, I think that you can see that even if your team didn't do too well in rounds 1 or 2, at least in the state round, that they have some representation. And that all came from not only the coaches, but also from Cyber Patriot Rules Advisory Group. Okay, with that, we'll open up for questions. All right, our first question is about the President's Day Weekend Open. If middle school teams also compete, yes, all registered teams can compete in the President's Day Weekend Open. Jonathan, thank you for your concern. We are very happy with the way that our advancement works this year. In fact, all teams, if we had last year's model of competition, all teams, let me back up. Last year in the competition, the top 50 teams from the semifinals advanced to the national finals competition from the first team. Following round 1 and 2 of the Open Division last year, top 50 teams all advanced to the semifinals competition. If we had that structure still in place, no team would be left out. Basically, all 50 of those teams would still be advancing, both in the old structure of the competition and the new structure. Essentially, we have not lost any teams that I would have had if we had a different structure of the competition. We're very happy with what we have so far. We have about twice as many teams advancing in the platinum tiers than did in previous years, plus we have these teams in the gold, silver divisions as well. We're always looking at teams, at modifying the structure in future seasons, but we're very happy with what we have right now, and we think it's going to make for a great national finals competition, as well as a great regional competition this round. Williams, I'm not sure what happened there. If you said email your team number, I'll put an email address for you to send that to. We'll try to see what's going on there. If you were in the silver tier last round, you should also be in the silver tier this round. There may have been an error on part. We'll definitely look into it. Regarding the California issue again, we do have many wildcard teams. I think over half of those wildcard teams are from California as well. So that is one way for larger states to get more teams to the later rounds of competition. So let's keep that in mind as well. And thanks, Leslie, for correcting that mistake.
Hey, folks, while we're waiting for questions, I just wanted to say thank you to all of our coaches and mentors. Without you, there would be no type of hatred. I know you're volunteered, and in some cases voluntold, to do these things with your school or your organization. Please keep your ideas and put them in the post-competition survey so that we can use them for next year. And you never know. Maybe an idea you have that you don't think is good enough will make the cut.
Jonathan, thanks again for your comments. I'm happy to have a conversation with you at any time. Our hotline number, I don't think you have it in the slides. I'm happy to put on there and talk to you about this at any point. Again, we're very happy with the way we have it. I don't believe there were hundreds of California teams that are others that are advancing, but there are, I would agree, some teams that maybe have lower scores than others that are advancing, but they do fit into our advancement procedures that we had in place over the summer. And we welcome comments from all teams at that time. They have adjusted things from there. So again, happy to have a conversation anytime you want.
The other thing to remember is that we went from a state model and into a regional model, and then last year we had the semifinals. So what a lot of people wanted to do is go back to the semifinals model after the state, and it took us a long time to evolve to where we are now. So we'll accept any comments you have, and we'll see if it's workable within the bigger scheme. But I think that everyone can see that there's two different things going on here. One is recognizing excellence, but also recognizing that we have people throughout the country who are competing.
I will also say that some of the California teams that advanced last year, I do not believe would have advanced based on last year's model. I think some of them finished out the top 50. So if we had that previous model, those teams would not be advancing. So it did kind of benefit in some way, but perhaps not as much as some teams.
If you could get the word out on the President's Day Open or President's Day Weekend Open, I will get more information on that to you probably in the next week or two. But it's a good time for teams, especially regional teams that will be going to the national finals to get some practice before the national finals competition. But on the other hand, for teams that won't be going to national finals competition, So help them for next year's competition. We'll do one more time to practice on Cisco, and one more time, or at least a time to practice on digital forensics to get them ready for next year. Hey folks, we'll give it about another 5 minutes here, and we don't have to pick up any questions, then we'll go ahead and close the conference. But if you have anything, just put it out there. If there's a question that you don't think is an intelligent question, probably somebody else doesn't have it either, or somebody has that question also. Like I said, we'll be on here for now about the next 4 minutes. But I'm curious if there was any rule that you would change in Cyber Patriot, concerning the competition or anything like that. Just go ahead and send it to us. We go ahead and update the rules book before I send it out to the frag. I'd like to see what you have to say. So if you have a question or you would like to change a rule, please send it out. You can send it to info@us.baker.org, and I'll get it from there.
Teams that crash for images, a lot of the time, the way that happens is because students mess up something on the image itself. So it's not an inherent problem with the image. We've had some thoroughly beforehand, both in our office and our developers. So it's likely not an issue with personal issue. It's probably an issue, could change the settings and that kind of thing. If we had more data on what students did before that happened, we could improve our training, or maybe provide some tips on our stuff and work through from there. But kind of with a limited knowledge, there's not much that I can say offhand.
One thing we did find 2 years ago was that a lot of teams didn't do checksums, and there was a corruption images, even though they appeared to be working fine. But that, after some testing, we found that. But like Ryan said, there's a variety of reasons.
If that happens again in a future competition, don't hesitate to shoot an email, any information you have, or give us a call. We're always, looking to solve those kind of problems. Again, I don't think it's a widespread issue, so I most likely guess it's a local thing. But we can certainly take a case basis and see what happens.
Well, we got about a minute to go, but like I said before, we had about 4 minutes there. If you had any rules changes or things you thought should be changed, just email them to us at info@us.baker.org, and be sure to take those into consideration. Okay, folks, that's it for today. You can join us again on Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll go through this one more time, and it'll be a more point-driven type discussion based on your questions rather than running through all the slides. So remember that's 9 p.m. On Thursday evening. Thank you to the staff. Thank you for showing up, those of you who had to dial in. And coaches and mentors, thanks again for all you do. Take care.